from India to Ethiopia. Verse 2. At that time, Xerxes ruled his empire from his royal throne at the fortress of Susa. So, Susa was where the king sat upon the throne. But the king's rule and domain was not only in Susa, it stretches from India to Ethiopia. You can be at one place, but your impact and your influence can transcend borders and your immediate geographical location. Are we following? The God that we serve is a God that governs over a kingdom. A kingdom is the domain of the king. Literally put together is called kingdom. And domain is where your rule and your influence stretches to. So God can be sitting in heaven as his place of residence, but he is not just a heaven God. He is a God whose reign, control, influence, and impact transcends beyond where he is seated on the throne. So if you check where Ethiopia is, and if you check India, those of you whose geography is working, if you drew as the crow flies, and if the map has a scale, whether an RF scale or a statement scale, right? David, I'm going too deep, representative fraction. And you are using the scale to convert the distance. You can type Google distance between Ethiopia and India. It will give you, one king sits at one place and he is reigning over two continents, literally. So sitting in a part of Asia and his leg is in somewhere India. I pray that it will be the portion and it will be the blessing of someone, that wherever you are is not where your influence will be contained, but your influence will transcend borders. Places that you cannot go as a human being, your influence will stretch out to that place. Am I talking to somebody? Okay, let's go on. So you have a fair idea what we are talking about. In the 3rd year of Xerxes' reign, he gave a banquet for all his nobles and officials. He invited all the military officers of Persia and Media, as well as the princes and nobles of the provinces. And yes, more invitation. May you receive invitation not from mere men, but may you receive invitation from notable men. There's one thing when your friend invites you to come over to eat fufu, it's all good. It's one thing when you have invitation to join Gobe around Accra Mall on a Saturday. But there's another thing when such a king with such influence is calling for people invited for a dinner, that you are one of the invited guests. And you are flying from one part of the continent just to be part of it. May you be connected to noble people in the name of Jesus. Oh, you don't hear what I am saying. You don't hear what I am saying. Some of you, 10 years from now, if you look at your fraternity and your circle of association, it will marvel you that God had lifted you from a certain class and now you belong to another class altogether. May God bring it your way in the name of Jesus. The celebration lasted 180 days. 180 days is how many months? 6 months. 6 months is what? Half a year. I don't know the celebration that you have encountered. Sometimes our celebration lasts for a second and sorrow follows. Sometimes the celebration is for a day, and then the next day we get into another thing and we even forget the celebration. May God give you a celebration that can last for 6 months. 6 months of celebration. I am looking at the kind of gathering that King Xerxes put together. Who can hold somebody for half a year? Master, who do you want to go for ECG bills? May God bring you to a place of abundance, that you can continue to have more than enough. Or am I talking to somebody? Am I talking to somebody? 6 months of celebration, because it's 6 months of celebration. A tremendous display of the opulent wealth of the empire and the pomp and the splendor of His Majesty. Wow. The celebration lasted for how many days? 180 days. When it was all over, the king gave a banquet for all the people, from the greatest to the least, who were in the fortress of Susa. May you be located at the place of provision. You see, if you were in Susa and you were even the list of persons, this time around selection be foul, just because of geographical location. You are at the right place at the right time when the king was going to give presents to people. May your location be changed to where provision is available for you. Wow. From the greatest to the least, unless you were not in Susa, unless you are not part of this ministry, unless you are not part of this family, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 years from now, we will see you and we will wonder whether you are the one, because the blessing of location will locate you. Oh, am I talking to somebody? Am I talking to somebody? When it was all over, the king gave a banquet for all the people, from the greatest to the least, who were in the fortress of Susa. It lasted for 7 days and was held in the courtyard of the palace garden. The courtyard was beautifully decorated with white cotton curtains, blue hangings, which were fastened with white linen cords, and purple ribbons, to silver rings embedded in marble pillars. Gold and silver couches stood on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Drinks were served in gold goblets of many designs, and there was abundance of royal wine, reflecting the king's generosity. May that be your story. May there be abundance because you serve a God that gives abundantly, reflecting the king's generosity. May God give you something that reflects Him. Oh, I say, may God give you something that reflects Him. They were just privileged enough to have a king who was generous, and the generosity of the king influenced how much they receive. May the generosity of our king influence how much your life will receive. Not how much you have studied, not where you are coming from, not where your background is, but may the generosity of the king. If the king cannot be poor, may you never be poor. If the king cannot be sick, may you never be sick. May you be a true reflection of the king you serve, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. The cattle on 1,000 hill belongs to Him. The silver is His and the gold is His. May that be your reflection also. By the edict of the king, no limits were placed on drinking. By the edict of this king, may no limits be placed on your finances. May no limit be placed on your uplifting. May no limit be placed on your expansion. May no limit be placed on your blessing. If that God cannot be limited, may whatever He will give you suffer no limitation. In the name of Jesus. By the edict of the king. Edict is a rule. I see heaven put together an edict, and that edict says that may you receive more than enough. May you receive more than enough, that which reflects the king's generosity. Wow. By the edict of the can imagine some people who like alcohol and now they have met their meter. No. Different bottles, different bottles. Wine, different places. Whiskey, brandy, vodka. Bobidi wine. Near the boarding no one monumbi, no bobidi in Chireme. And you were in straight in fact, Chiremina. Wow. Can you imagine you say you want money? Brought you to a place that he said there shall be no limit on the amount of money you will receive. My God. When your friend said, chop all. Wow. For the king instructed all in his palace officials to serve each man as much as he wanted. How much do you want? Tell somebody, how much do you want? Oh, this will be say, how much do you want? It means that in this life, how much we want is the capacity and the expanse of our container. How much do you want? Obi the cup, obi the kufuor gallon, obi the Rambo 1000. How much do you want? Say, don't limit anybody. As much as they want to drink, serve them what they want. May God give you beyond that which you even require. As much as, I like as much as how much, as much as, how much do you want to be blessed? As much as you can drink, it shall be served to you. In this particular party, there was no limit. Sometimes you go to some serve yourself and the whole thing has become menu a la carte. What's that? Muniske by force. Serve yourself. I don't quite name him. No. Also be a honor. Also, mame 3 or see there be a 1. What's that? You have advertised that serve yourself. Eat as much as you can. And this my brother called Remy. He has taken purgative. He has combined his breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then you don't know where they get those servers from. Wearing some whites, standing at one edge of the table, conducting the food. Again, to conduct our home. Serve yourself. Why are you limiting me? In this atmosphere, it's as much as Remy, fetch as much as you can eat. Fetch as much as. Wow. Nobody is standing at the table. If you want a full chicken, as much as. Tell somebody as much as. What a place, what a time, what a location. God, take us there. Sometimes, you see, do you know that some of us have not had the chance to choose freely throughout our lifetime? You chew fish you didn't want to chew. You ate food you never enjoyed. You did a course in the university you never enjoyed. In fact, your father's disappointed career is what he projected on you. You will be a doctor. Because I wanted to be. Now, when I'm doctor, I want to be a doctor. No. You have never had the chance. Maybe your beloved cry didn't choose. Your beloved, no, your papa fe. It was so bad. Am I saying some very crazy things? It doesn't happen. So sometimes you can come from the place. People come into your space sometimes, and you want to spoil them small. Say, spoil them small. And then you take them out, and then you ask them, what do you want to eat? There you see the power of limitation. How it can work on somebody's mind. Like Bob Marley said, in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Ubedi den so gobe. Hey. sometimes, this restaurant, I don't normally like it. I like wachi. Hey. Because oba no share omomuti table no. You are too white. Etiquette or share fork and knife. Go benu ko the fork and knife ne be you. We dia habe mu ne pack sa. Ahabai na pack. Fufu kura otono robe mu ne de nkwan gu robe mu. Ofi fufu ofi emu. Na ye de emu gu robe mu a obedi ni sen. Enya fi na obefi. Enti oto anu aka che ma me kani na afra because meka no mafi. Ohia moto onum kwa ye de gu robe mu anu so obefi. Na wa peja obi sana odina ko Chinese riga. Obedu hona nkofu titiru etiti ho. Oh yeah, so Rev, I don't like it here. I don't know, but my spirit says I should enter here. Rev, please, can we go? Do you have ice cream home? I think I will be okay with it. Hey. I know what I am saying, you know. Yes, Ubedi Dane. So I don't know, but I don't like this foreign foods. I don't like this foreign foods. I don't like this foreign foods. You don't have choices. You're confused. I can take somebody to an auto shop and I will say, select one car. Let me pay the pure water business. All these cars in Rev, vanity. In Jem Street. Hey, sister. I've seen some before. When you are sitting there, you want to hurry and go home and go and eat your yam. And even when they are eating, obeje duanini bebre. Also, person park man of course, oh no, whatever, it's okay. Okofi say, I am here. I am here. Eduanini do. So now me how American say, hey. May you be sport for choice. May you have options you can choose from. It's not a sin. Am I talking to someone? Okay. At the same time, Queen Vashti gave a banquet for the women. Hey, just on friend for now also to out no. Queen also a friend money and a host by the side. May you have that kind of house. That within the house there are different parties going on. Your son is doing his own graduation party. Mommy is hosting some women wing something. And boys also are on rooftop balcony. And in the same house. In the same house. Hey, some people have put up houses that they can host 200 men of God to come and sleep in their house, not hotel. May that be your story. The Bible says that the king also gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of King Xerxes on the 7th day of the feast, when King Xerxes was in high spirits. I want you to write high spirit. High spirit. High spirit. Being in the spirit, don't shake her, it's not enough because it doesn't change anything. You need to be in high spirit. High spirit. High spirit. Because of the wine. Because of the wine. He told the 7 eunuchs who attended him, Mehuman, Vista, Habona, Victor, Abacta, Zita, and Carcass. to bring Queen Vashti to him with a royal crown on her head. He wanted the nobles and all the other men to gaze on her beauty, for she was a very beautiful woman. No, he wanted people to admire his wife. That was the whole idea. Come and show them your beauty. But when they conveyed the king's order to Queen Vashti, she refused to come. This made the king furious, and he burned with anger. He immediately consulted with his wise advisors, who knew all about the Persian laws and customs, for he always asked their advice. The names of these were Kashina, Shita, Adamata, Tashish, Meres, Masina, and Memukam, 7 nobles of Persia and Media. They met with the king regularly and held highest positions in the empire. What must be done to Queen Vashti? The king demanded. What penalty does the law provide for a queen who refuses to obey the king's orders properly sent through his eunuchs? Memukam answered the king and his nobles, Queen Vashti has wronged not only the king, but also every noble citizen throughout your empire. Women everywhere will begin to despise their husbands when they learn that Queen Vashti has refused to appear before the king. Before this day is out, the wives of all the king's nobles throughout Persia and Media will hear what the queen did and will start treating their husbands the same way. There will be no end to their contempt and anger. So if it pleases the king, we suggest that you issue a written decree, a law of the Persians and the Medes that cannot be revoked. It should order that Queen Vashti be forever banished from the presence of King Xerxes, and that the king should choose another queen more worthy than she. In this life, there is a replacement for all of us. In this life, there is a replacement for all of us. Each time 11 players are playing on the field, there is a substitution bench. Tell somebody there is a substitution bench. Sometimes you can be playing, but you can be brought down and sit on the bench. Sometimes you are sitting on the bench, but you can earn playing time and you can go and play. I am here to prophesy on anyone who is sitting on a bench who is equally capable of playing. I pray that God orchestrates your inclusion into the team. It is in the playing that you can be seen. It is in the playing that you can be seen. I pray that God will move you from any warming bench into the center of play. Center of play in finances. Center of play in prominence. May God qualify you to also play. Are we together? When the decree is published throughout the king's vast empire, husbands everywhere, whatever their rank, will receive proper respect from their wives. The king and his nobles thought this made good sense, so he followed Memukam's counsel. In this life, you always need someone whose counsel or suggestion will set you up for a set off. My God. I said, in this life, you will need a certain advice from somebody that will set you up for your set off. Memukam's advice seemed to be a good advice. He sent letters to all the parts of the empire, to each province in his own script and language, proclaiming that every man should be the ruler of his own home and should say whatever he pleases. Wow. But after King Xerxes' anger had subsided, he began thinking about Vashti and what she had done and the decree he had made. So his personal attendants suggested, let us search the empire to find beautiful young virgins for the king. Verse 2. Let us search the empire. Let us search the empire. There is a search party as we sit down here. It has always been like that. That God's eyes are moving to and fro, looking at people whose heart is perfect towards him, that he, God, may show himself strong on that person's behalf. So a search party was organized. Let the king appoint agents in each province to bring these beautiful young women into the royal harem at the fortress of Susa. Haggai, the king's eunuch in charge of the harem, will see that they are all given beauty treatments. After that, the young woman who most pleases the king will be made queen instead of Vashti. This advice was very appealing to the king, so he put the plan into effect. At the same time, there was a Jewish man in the fortress of Susa whose name was Mordecai, son of Jair. He was from the tribe of Benjamin and was a descendant of Kish and Shimei. His family has been among those who, with King Jehoiachin of Judah, had been exiled from Jerusalem to Babylon by King Nebuchadnezzar. This man had a very beautiful, lovely young cousin, Hadassah, who was also called Esther. When her father and mother died, Mordecai adopted her into his family and raised her as his own daughter. As a result of the king's decree, Esther, along with many other young women, was brought to the king's harem at the fortress of Susa and placed in Haggai's care. I want us to pray 5 minutes before we go. And the prayer is simple. Don Shaker, Esther had no idea she was going to become the queen of an empire that stretches from India to Ethiopia. She was an orphan, the Bible said. Some of you here, you are not orphans. I want to show you something that you can be the next Esther. She was an orphan. Not only that, they have removed them from their own country, Jerusalem, by King Nebuchadnezzar, and they have sent them into exile. So a slave, not in her own country, in somebody else's country, and she has no mother and no father. Whose case is worse than that in this room? Shoot up your hand. I'll give you my bens. Shoot up your hand. You are a slave. Your mother and your father has died. Not only that, you are an adopted. You see, when a cousin adopts you as his own, you understand. Meaning a cousin, they don't adopt me. And you say, Esther, no situation in there bad. How many people adopt their cousins? You can adopt your niece or your nephew. Beverly, can you adopt your cousin? It's not possible. And guess what? Near adopting konusu is slaves. Slave adopt slave. What was the chance for Queen Esther or Hadassah now, in her wildest of dreams and imaginations, that she, Hadassah, whose mom and dad had died, and being taken care of an uncle, not in their own country, but in a foreign country where she and her cousin are together slaves. What is the hope? What is the hope? If it's a village, I can say maybe I stand a chance. I'm talking about King Xerxes. Who can Hadassah ever be a replacement for Queen Vashti? What are you talking about, slave girl? Do you know aristocratic life? Vashti was properly selected, comes from the lineage of queens, and was so qualified to be the wife of this man whose rule and domain transcends 2 continents in my wildest imagination. If there can be a replacement for Queen Vashti, it cannot be a poor orphan slave girl by the name Hadassah. Esther had no idea by this time. Only 2 things she had, and I want you to write that thing down. Sometimes we are looking for what we don't have and what we cannot get. Two things. The Bible mentioned it. Esther was a virgin, and Esther was beautiful. Let me say the first one. One of her attributes came to her naturally. That's the beauty. If your papa no fine, your mama no fine, where you don't born monkey, you know be say it be your fault now. If you say the seed your papa carry plus the seed your mama carry, it be the seed they produce now. Is it true or correct? Where is Dr. Jesse? You have a man who is very beautiful, good looking, a wife who is beautiful and good looking. Their children are going to be beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sure I'm who papa tipe anafi Matthias here. Nintia uti abamno. Nanka what? One for papa tina, one tina beba. You look at someone and say, I understand. It not be your fault. This one you didn't cause it. Because I can imagine that Hadassah's parents are good looking. Is that not what they say? You give birth your kind. A biology no king. And Tasa another time. It's Masa. Okay. So there is always what will come to you naturally. You don't have to do anything to become it. It comes to you natural. The second attribute she had was that she was a virgin. Ntibano oma kwasie bi bomu jamana. Anka a disqualify no da. Ya peja ni na she wie mu ni crucify no so oginani Jimmy 4. You are losing the kingdom for 5 minutes fun. And a virginity no. What they shall see and taru boys nature maintaining it. I want to believe that beautiful as she was, she would have had people worrying her and trying to partake of the beauty. Some of you, there's some highest bidder that is waiting to honor you, and you are giving yourself to some cheap person. When they gave the advice, they say look for virgins and look for those who are young. Esther didn't know anything. She was sitting here somewhere. Obebi akotie tua achire ni kunu ene asake no and a vacancy abeda ho. And I advertise vacancy. And the requirements a Google 2 years working experience. And some of you don't know that you are writing your life CVs. Even as you say, I'm waiting for my season, I'm waiting for my right timing. Right now, what are you doing that will qualify you when now the vacancy is announced? A vacancy will be announced. It doesn't matter. Now, I was telling somebody this morning that I believe that God was going to honor his promises concerning Israel. Because if you understand later on in the book of Esther, Haman had intended to wipe out all the Jews. It means that Jews will not exist any longer as a nation. Now, when God called Abraham, he told Abraham, your seed shall be as many as the sea, sun, and the stars. But here was the seed of the Jews being threatened. And God needed a human being. God was going to ensure that his covenant with Israel will stand. But God was looking for somebody who had qualified themselves to be used as the instrument for that turnaround. And so the story goes on, and fast forward, Esther beat all the virgins from the country and emerged as the one that King Xerxes chose to replace Queen Vashti. I want you to bow your head down. I sense in this season some Vashtis are being pushed away. I sense in this season that God is orchestrating some takeovers. Just like we are saying, it couldn't have crossed Hadassah's mind that one day in the same land where she was a slave, she will become the second most important person in the land. It didn't cross her mind. That a slave girl, one day the king will ask, Queen Esther, why is your countenance down? What is wrong with you? Tell me, even to the half of the kingdom, I will give it to you. It didn't cross her mind that one day the king can beg. Oh dear, then how? If you want half of the kingdom, I will deliver it. You are praying in this season. Divine orchestration. Meetings that are being held somewhere, they have implication for your answered prayer. It can be some investor that has come to Ghana and say, oh, I'm looking for somebody with this background. I'm looking for somebody who is very honest, somebody who is very sincere, somebody I can leave this company into their care and they will take good care of it for me. Divine orchestration. For your sake. The king got drunk for the sake of Hadassah. When he was in high spirit, is where he made that stupid request that Vashti disobeyed. That led to the sacking of the Vashti and the replacement of her. Who even sent the king to go and do that 180 days party that ended up in the sacking of Vashti? God is orchestrating things for people. God is orchestrating things. If somebody must drink into stupor and make a stupid decision and create a vacancy, God will do anything for his children. He said, you exchange Egypt for one person, one soul of a Jew. God will exchange a whole nation for one soul. She was a slave girl, but she was a Jew. She was a slave girl, but she was a virgin. She was a slave girl, but she was beautiful. She was a slave girl, but she has positioned herself that one day the requirements that will be made, she will be qualified. Pray now. Divine setup for a takeoff. Esther herself was not part of any party that was going on. She never knew that some queen has been sacked. She was just sitting here somewhere and somebody told her, hey, they said they are looking for virgins. So I didn't even know whether she knew that they are looking for people to come and replace a certain queen. One day you are sitting down and they'll say, we are looking for IT people. And then now the experiences you have gathered online, the days when your colleagues are playing bets and all of those things, and you look like a fool. You are sitting behind your computer and you are learning some computer programming. That it will pay off. It will pay off. The preparation is just about to pay off. I hear God says that I am moving in the time for those who are prepared. Those who are prepared, it is their takeoff. I am going to set up some vacancies for the sake of my people. But tell them to prepare. Tell them to prepare. What if Esther was not a virgin? What if she was not beautiful? All the while, maybe she came into temptation to lose her virginity, but maybe something kept pushing her. No, don't do it. Don't do it. There's a brighter life ahead. There's a greater life ahead. Don't lose it now. Maintain your dignity. Maintain your integrity. Continue to study. Add another course to it. It's a matter of time. You don't have a job now, but what is coming is even bigger than a job. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You're a laughing stock now. But people are about to gather around you and celebrate. Lift up that voice and pray. Divine orchestration. Divine orchestration. Who called for the party? Who brought the wine at all? Who even asked the king to drink to his stupor? Make a request like that. And why did Queen Vashti also disobey the king? No. God had Hadassah in mind. Her name was Hadassah. Another name is a star. Somebody's star is about to shine in this season of remembrance and this time of manifestation. The year of manifestation and remembrance is a time for some stars to begin to shine. If you are an Esther, you can never remain a slave. It's only a matter of time. I see somebody moving up to occupy that position. Ghana cannot contain you. Africa cannot contain you. We will hear your name. We will hear your name. You are going international. You are sitting with those who matter. The eyes of the Lord are moving to and fro upon the surface of the earth, looking for those whose hearts are perfect towards him, that he will show himself strong on their behalf. Perfect that heart now, because I see a lifting up coming. Perfect that craft now. I see somebody about to employ you. Perfect it. Perfect it. Be honest with yourself. There's somebody in town who is not looking for qualified people. He is just looking for an honest person. Your honesty is about to show. Don't bother about what you don't have. Work on what God gave you. Your upliftment will come from that. You cannot be like something you are not. If yours is a skill, perfect it. Your highest bidder is coming to town. I said your highest bidder is coming to town. Every Esther must have their Vashti. Somebody's advice. Somebody's advice. Somebody's advice. Who would have said? Who would have said? Who would have said? Hadassah. Who would have said Hadassah will sit at a place and King Xerxes will ask her, ask me whatever you want, even to the half of my kingdom I will give you. Who would have said? From a slave girl that nobody gave regard for, from an orphan who has no hope in somebody's country, whose situation is too worse in this room that God cannot turn around. I see a generation and an army of people rising up to take over the world, and they are taking over with integrity. They are taking over with purity. They are taking over with years of preparation. Maybe yours can just be prayer. Somebody in town will one day reward that faithfulness in prayer. I am looking for somebody. I'm just looking for somebody who can pray for me. I'm looking for that person. And so, oh, there's a sister here. We think she cannot amount to anything. All she does in her life is prayer. I don't want to believe she's the one you are looking for. I want that one. I am just looking for a prayer person. God is the one that determines. No skill is unimportant. Don't try to be like somebody. Yours is on the way. Your King Xerxes is coming somebody's way. Be sure that you are praying. I mean what I am saying. I mean what I am seeing. God said you have been praying, but are you ready for what is coming? God said you have been asking me. I've seen your fastings, I've seen your praise, I've seen your requests, I've seen your desire, but somebody is coming to town. He has a requirement. Be sure that you don't lack the requirements. If you have it, he said, I will lift you up beyond your imagination. Words cannot express, eyes will not believe, your own friends cannot break it. How did it happen? And he said, yeah, when everybody was quiet, when it looked like I wasn't amounting to anything, I was rehearsing. All that David had was sheep, but he was not going to remain in the desert for long. A palace was awaiting him, but he needed to take care of sheep faithfully. He needed to be a good steward. One of my sheep will never be taken by any lion. I am accountable. And God says, if you are accountable over sheep, you can be accountable over my people. I give you the nation of Israel. Who is praying? Who is ready? Who is praying? Who is ready? A certain Goliath will show up later on. And David said, the God that helped me to conquer my bear, the God that helped me to conquer my lion, that same God will give Goliath into my hand, and I will defeat him. The palace is awaiting somebody. The palace is awaiting somebody. From the bush to the palace is possible. From the bush to the palace is possible. Who am I talking to? What are you saying, man of God? Another man came on the scene. His name is Joseph. The Bible said that before his turnaround, Potiphar's wife was tempting him with sex. A woman tempting a man with sex. And Joseph will say, your master has given everything in his hands into my care. You are the only one that my boss did not give. How can I have sex with you and disobey the God that I serve? I choose to run. Little did he know that after this test, he is coming from the prison to be the prime minister. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? What if Joseph slept with Potiphar's wife? How can God trust him with a nation when he can sleep with somebody's wife? Be careful, be careful, just be careful, just be careful, just be careful with your laziness, be careful with your loose life, be careful with your prayerlessness, just be careful how you are leading your life to chance. Just be careful. Your highest bidder is coming to town. Are you ready for him? Are you ready for your highest bidder? Your husband is coming to town. Are you ready as a wife? Your employer is coming to town. Are you ready to be a faithful employee? Set up. It doesn't matter whether you are aware or not. God is working. God is removing some people. God is creating vacancies. God is removing some people, and God is creating vacancies. He said, my son, it's time to go up. It's time for elevation. The years of preparation, they are about to be rewarded. The years of hard work, they are about to be rewarded. Keep digging, keep praying. You are close. You are almost there. Sanuko di kabaliata. Asoko de badi kadima katu sekedeva. Your right husband is coming to town. Don't fall for a scammer. Your right wife is coming to town. Stop cheating around. It's a low life. It's a low life. It's a low life. It's a low life. What if Joseph has slept with Potiphar's wife? Would we be reading from him as the prime minister of Egypt? Little foxes that destroys the vine. Little foxes that destroys the vine. Little foxes. God said, prepare the house, prepare the people. Tell them to sanctify themselves, because tomorrow I will do a great work. Tomorrow I will do a great work. Tell them to sanctify themselves for an uplifting. A time is coming that I am about to raise them. A time is coming. I will put them on the map of the world. Akuka pakatu katia asika kunta kapata alosha katubia tabrato osekete padia. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Your change is coming. Your turnaround is around the corner. The pay is not good, but stay there for a second. God is preparing you for the right pay. Don't change jobs yet. It is a trial. You feel I am delayed, but you will never be denied. It's only a matter of time. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. It's a season of preparation. It's a season. It's a season. Everything we are doing, they will count for something. You may not see it yet, but all things are working together for the good of those that are called. Your crying will count for something. The years of desperation. Maybe you don't have a father. Maybe you don't have a mother. Maybe you don't have anything. Even in your life now, it's only a matter of time. Mountain on with wings. 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 I hear celebration. I hear celebration is coming. I hear I am coming the way of my people. I am coming the way of my people. I have heard their cry. I tell them to get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, son of God. Get ready, woman of God. Get ready, get ready. It is not a season of compromise. Stand for truth. Stand for holiness. Stand for purity. Stand for honesty. Stand for character. Your highest bidder is in town. Akayalaba, Amantaniada, Akayalaba, Amantaniada, Irakayalabandara, Amaramadaka, because I will come. Prepare because I am in town. I am looking for. Make sure that you have what I am looking for. If only you have what I am looking for, the stars will be your starting point. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. It's a prophetic hour. I know what I am seeing and where I am going. Esther, listen to the cousin Mordecai. In these competitions, slaves were not invited. I don't know who qualified Esther to join. Queen Vashti is a native of the land. If there is a replacement, it cannot be a slave girl and it cannot be a foreigner. I see God pushing boundaries and limitations. Pushing boundaries and limitations. Pushing, you know, Esther went full into the contest, and the Bible said she has not yet disclosed her identity to them because Mordecai had won her. Shena wam can be and disqualify one them. And it's the next thing I want you to pray about. Some things must not jump out of your mouth prematurely. It will end you. If I'm supposed to be honest, Esther smuggled her way into the competition because though she was a virgin, though she was beautiful, she was not a native. Now slave girl, yeah, probably replace here Maya. Slave girl, whoa. And all the while Esther was with her colleagues. Almost of Kromo. Now go Kromo Viva. I don't want to. One small thing. Be say a kisi any pa. Now wakako issue be one kese. Kept quiet. Went through all the motions. 6 months of preparation. Obia so beauty contest. Oh, no, in a cry. 6 months of cosmetic preparation, and that's what I keep hearing. Prepare with what? Not what you don't have, what you have. You see, sometimes also church is the best place to be qualified to have influence in the world. We don't get the connection. Faithfully arranging chairs, you are on time, you are dependable, you are built an attribute of dependability. Here, my first time I showed up in my current work, when I came from UK at the interview, they look at my CV, and also when I came, people were saying I should format my CV. You understand that one? Because maybe CV no not security na boss, because I know na me here with UK, na me a watchman with UK security. Loss prevention officer needing for front no. UK forward nice names for all manner of things. Okopupa mrewato your friend care. Oh, I didn't bogus in here na. What was I call mrewato pen no. Sikana mo mrewato see the buyer udi. And so my guys were like, Charlie, fakey banking sector, 3 years in BBB. Formatting. I didn't know because security no quantity am foul. I wanted to conform to what they were telling me because it made a lot of sense. Obia obeye juma or financial institution. Now we a masters work experience is security. Pastor, I said no. I can't lie. I don't feel right within me. But I told myself, someone no mistake no be busa me say. What is the link between security and the baby ameba now? They will regret it. Work with what you have. Don't follow people. It will make you a liar. You walk in other people's shadows. And guess what? It popped up at the interview. Nice CV, good school, award coming in, MPhil, something. Security. What's the link? Why security? I say, yeah. I don't know whether any of you had lived in the UK before, but if you live in those places as a black man, you are either overqualified for a job or underqualified. In my case, I was overqualified. And they won't even give me a voluntary work to do associated with what I've studied. Meanwhile, I have bills to pay. And I will not be a burden on the system. My visa doesn't permit, and I won't go and steal. So I have to do something to earn a living. It's okay, I say, but so why do you have it? I say, yeah. I was a security man for the shop, Waitrose, Finchley Road. I said, okay, so what about that? I say, yeah. I am the first to get to the shop because the shop doesn't open until there's a security man at the door. And I'm the last to leave. And it taught me how the shop depended on me to open and to close. So when it comes to time consciousness, you can bet on me. And I'm saying, not only that, I'm also the face of the shop. I wear my black and white with my epaulets round here, and I always appear smart. I got to know that people don't see you as a watchman. They see you as part of the shop. And so your appearance also has an image of the shop. And so if they look at me, they can see I'm neatly dressed. It's something that I have learned and something I can. You don't need to go and be thinking about something that you often say it doesn't matter. No. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God. David picked stones that he was used to, and God honored the stone. God will honor some people who are picking stones. When you look at Goliath and you look at him picking stones, you will think that onim the oil, no onim the oil no pa. Or say, I am used to this. They wore him an armor. They say, giant way there. Saul armor the bit. Or say, maza. The day I didn't share why is it kurukuku. Utuni na akebe kunentem kora. Or so mama me kata boy no. And one minim. And God killed Goliath with the kata boy because of David. God is about to pick your stones in your own hands. Sometimes also, you don't have this, you can't do this because you didn't have that, you can't do that. Be faithful with what is in your hand. Be faithful with God, what God has entrusted into your hand. I said your highest bidder is in town. It's in town. Esther maintained purity and her beauty until there was an announcement. I hear an announcement in this season, and that announcement is an announcement that concerns your upliftment. And it's not going to just be a cheap one. From Ethiopia all the way to India, pick up your offering, pray over it. Pick up your offering. Set up for set off. Divine setup for a set off. The story is changing. Esther became the queen. Entered that same country as a slave, but the story changed from a slave girl to be the queen. She beat even the natives of that country. They could speak the language better than her. They knew the culture and the tradition of the country better than her. But when God chooses someone because they have prepared themselves, he displaces every other. May God displace some people for your sake. Come to the altar if you can and drop your offering. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. The sound of the one crying in the wilderness. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make his path straight. It's a new level. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make his path straight. Gazy, can you show me some pictures? Let me have my announcer on stage. When I started, I said 3 things. How many of you remember? What? God is. Papa Eric, I can't see you. Is that Nana Kwesi? Can you go back? Don't roll the thing like that. That's that. Nana Kwesi, is that you? Nana Kwesi, is that Belinda? Is that your husband? Belinda, are you sure, or is your son? That's Kwame. That's Dorcas. That's Papa Eric. That's Kukua. That's Victor. That's Papa Eric. Oh, Masa, I don't know what content them, sir. Hey, that's Shika. No, go back. I want the one with Shika. Akushka, is that you? Is that Fafa at the back? Oh. Hey, no, hey. Go back. Right, Remy, where are you going? Oh. Where is Remy? Remy has deleted the thing in the spirit. The boy in shorts. The boy in shorts. Oh, those of you who appeared in the picture, please come and stand here. I beg you. I said 3 things at the beginning. I want to connect to it. So if you are in the picture, show up. Remy, come. Shika, come. Charles, come. Jeff, come. No, mon face Am I? Wow. Yeah, Angie, Otobia. That one, I saw you. That one didn't change much. Okay, that's Story. That's Liz. How many of you have seen Jake recently? I'm scared. I am scared. Otobia, come. Jamina, I saw you also. That's Erasmus. That's Kwame Legend. That's Chairman. These are very recent ones. Okay. Is that Prophet Udru? Okay. Wow. This is first camp. First dinner. King's Banquet. Wow. People are looking sharper now. Okay. Wow. Hey, Jake. Hey, obviously go back. Mati go back. We were honeymoon. I don't know what they were discussing. Hey, chairman himself. Borogate. Okay. Inspector Boro. Okay. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. We want to leave. God has been faithful. How many of you were married when you joined RUAC? Those standing here. Nobody. I was the only married man. Then I think Dr. Ernest followed suit. Yeah. Yeah. When you joined Kwame and Co. My car was the only car that was available. It was a Trotsky. Now most of you are driving. But I see faithfulness. I see that God has also rewarded you. And we are not done yet too. Because sometime to come, we'll watch these pictures again. And these ones will be looking like some way. But by then, we'll be bigger, we'll be greater. We'll all have our cars parked at the basement. Maybe we'll be in a certain location where we have our own church building. You have no idea what God will do. I just want you to go back to what I said. God has respect for our sacrifice. God is with us. And God is faithful. God bless you. Announcer. Midnight Cry is on Wednesday for those who come. And any other day for those who don't come. Q1 fasting is upon us. And we are taking off on the 3rd to 5th of April. So, Chairman, we have factored your Easter. You can go to Kwewu and come. We'll be waiting for you. And the theme is Satisfy Me Early. And the scripture says the outstretched arm of the Lord. We'll come back to those 6 prayer points that we prayed on last week during the fasting, because it must deliver some testimonies. I'm really sure. So please prepare yourself, and you can start winding down on your eating when the time is getting close. And those of us who are doing push-ups, we have to stop, because they do our common number D and term. So 1 week to time, no push-ups.